The idea with the B Corp movement is using business as a force for good. So the theory is that private enterprise represents 77% of GDP in the United States. It's kind of why we're all here, is how we use business, which has a lot of power, that can do things that government and nonprofits are somewhat limited in their ability to do. So the idea is, how do we harness business for good? And I like to show this cartoon before I go into my thing. It said, yes, the planet got destroyed, but for a beautiful moment in time, we created a lot of value for shareholders. So kind of shows some levity to what we're doing. So when J. Cohen Gilbert, who's one of the co-founders of B Labs, his idea was we can't change the outcomes of what business is trying to do unless we change the rules of the game. So right now, one of the things I like about the B Corp movement is it's not about judging business as being bad. It's more saying that business is operating within the rules and systems that were created for it. And so if we want to actually create different outcomes for business, we have to create different rules so that business can create the outcomes we want. So the two needs that Jay and his founders at B Lab identified were standards. So how do you tell between a good company and just good marketing? Not just at a company doing organic products or fair trade or a worker co-op, but how is the whole business? So it's really looking at going beyond just, is the building green or is it organic, but how do you treat the workers? Is your governance structure set up correctly? Do you have a good environmental impact? So standards for the whole company. And then a legal foundation that allows entrepreneurs to, when they form their business, to remove or to give them more freedom to pursue more than just profits. So when they found their business, which Don will go into in detail, they say that in addition to community, environment, and workers, we also, or in addition to profit, we also consider community, environment, and workers. So it really gives you that statement from the beginning that your business is more than just profits. So certified B Corps meet rigorous standards of social and environmental performance. So for many of you, how many people have heard about B Corps or are familiar with B Corps? Okay, 90%. That's why I like this conference. Just talking to people who know. I'll go into it. So NUMI-T is a good example. So B Corp certify, and part of the benefit of becoming a B Corp is that it gives you a comprehensive framework to really know where you're at. So as a sustainability consultant, I originally started talking to businesses about green and sustainability generally, but I found that it's difficult to really talk to a CEO or business owner who doesn't understand sustainability to say, you should be more green, because to them it doesn't really mean much. And so what I found with the B Corp is that it gives you a free assessment that looks at governance, workers, community, and environment. So it takes that CEO and gives them a framework to say, this isn't just about sustainability, this is about building a better business, and you can measure it in all these 4 categories. So like you see right here, there's a nutritional guide that essentially every certified B Corp can say, okay, on governance, we scored an 8, but the median score's a 10. Why aren't we scoring better? And you can go back into the assessment and identify ways you can be better. Similar for workers, community, environment, and Asim and Scott will tell you guys more about that. So I'll leave that to the businesses to describe it. So again, you're taking the last 20 years, which has been about product and kind of fair trade or product certifications, and moving into how do you look at the whole company? Because consumers, most of you here don't want a green product from a brown company. You want a sustainable product from a sustainable company. And so it's looking at how do we certify the whole business. For example, one of the benefits is this collective voice that B Corps get. So Scott, this is an ad that featured in Utne Reader alongside Ben & Jerry's, and who are some of the other people on that ad?
Method.
Method, right. And so it really, it creates collective voice for a movement. So a lot of B Corps, Patagonia and Ben & Jerry's and Method and Clean Canteen, a lot of these really brands that we already look up to, it gives you a kind of a collective voice to say, we're about business for better, and it creates something that the public can attach to, a B Corp logo. Again, here's some of the B Corps, Etsy, New Belgium Brewery, Dansko, Ben & Jerry's, Patagonia, EO Organic, Clean Canteen. For me, I certified my business just because of the other companies that were in it. I said, those are the companies I personally buy, and so for me it was, you didn't even have to convince me. I trust what Yvon Schoenard is doing with his time. And so that was a big value add for me. So, some of the great parts about it is the community. So, you have this gentleman up here on the top left, Chris Mann. A lot of you guys know him. Scott Leonard, Adam Lowry is the CEO of Method. In the top right, you have Brian Welch, who's the publisher of Ogden, who does Mother Earth News and Utne Reader. Mandy Cabot's the CEO of Dansko. And then Daniel Cresswell in the bottom right is the Director of Sustainability at Clean Canteen.
I never realized how tall those guys are.
Yeah, they're very tall. And another part that makes this about more than just a product or the United States is it's a global movement. So now there's 1,000 B Corps. We just passed that this month across the world in 32 countries. So there's 108 in Canada, 97 in Latin America. There's a B Corp that came from Mongolia to one of the B Corp retreats. So it's creating these networks across the globe of people who have the same values as you, and it creates a community that we're all trying to make business for better. And I won't talk too much about the legal side because that's Don's domain, but I'll just say that I think there's 22 states. I think, did Connecticut just pass?
I'm not sure where they are.
Okay. Well, there's at least 20 states that have Benefit Corp legal frameworks, which Don will talk about, including Delaware, where over 60% of all corporations are incorporated. And again, that just creates a legal foundation for an entrepreneur to say, I'm going to start a business. Here's an off-the-rack legal framework. Instead of an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp, I can just take this Benefit Corp off the rack and say, now I have the values that I want to grow my business. And so it just makes it easier for entrepreneurs who are mission aligned to create that legal foundation from the start. And again, Patagonia, one of Don's clients, he said the existing paradigm isn't working anymore. This is the future. And so Patagonia was the first registered benefit corporation in California. Here's just shameless self-promotion of my book coming out in October. Moving along. The B impact assessment. So if you took one thing away, this is my last slide before we go to Don's next. If you only did one thing, if you only took one thing away from this, check out bimpactassessment.net. It's the free tool that gives any company, you don't have to certify as a B Corp, but it's a free company that 15,000 companies are using to benchmark the social and environmental performance of your company. So in a way, if you take that assessment, it takes about 90 minutes, you finally have a roadmap, and it tells you what you're doing well, what you need to work on, and then it gives you policies and procedures and templates and tells you how to improve those. And so it's a great free resource for you.